Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what will probably be the last stream of the Outer Worlds. I am your host, Arun Dragon. If you're new and you like what you see and you want to support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're pretty close to the end of the game at this point. We only have one side quest left on Byzantium that I know of, and I think aside from that, everything is just railroading us towards the ending. So we should be able to wrap this up in this stream. It could even end early. If it does, depending on how much time is left at the end of the stream, we might start a second stream. If it runs a little bit over and I think, oh hey, we can finish this within the next few minutes, then I'll go ahead and finish it up tonight. Anyway, I did a little bit of work off camera. Not a whole lot, maybe a half hour's worth. Mostly rounding up a couple of new unique weapons. There's 3 more unique weapons, and a few more decorations for the ship have appeared, some of which I didn't even know about. At any rate, here's the new weapons. I've got the pink slip, no need to see human resources. The exterminator, apparently the name Knockbackinator was taken. The most dangerous game, which brings a whole different meaning to the phrase firing a subordinate. And that's a double-barreled shotgun. Then we've got the prototype light pistol, which I had temporarily given to Parvati. I also went around, and that darker bluish green armor that Parvati and Vicar Max were already wearing, I went around and found a couple more suits of it. So Ellie's got it, Felix has got it. Pretty much everyone except for Nyoka. And I'm hoping to find her a set simply because unless you tinker the heck out of some other pair of armor, it's the toughest armor in the game. So, all my companions, except for Nyoka and Sam, have an armor rating of 300. Well, I have an armor rating of 305. I'm not sure what their armor rating is. Oh, come on. So, let me take a brief tour of the ship and I'll show you some of the new stuff that we've picked up. Just briefly before we start the thing. Over here we've got our color drawing of one of the canids. And down here, you remember that that iconoclast that we had to kill in order to make peace between the iconoclast and the MSI? Well, that's his badge. Over here, we have that little moon man right there, which is a souvenir that we brought from Gorgon. Its eyes seem to follow you wherever you go. Let's see. Over here, thanks to that racetrack or thanks to that place that was having the canid showing, we now have our own little teacup canid. Say hello, Anubis. And then over here, we have The Appreciation of Even-Toed Ungulates by Dahlia Hudson. The llama, scientifically referred to as llama glama, is a domesticated herbivore weighing on average some 250 pounds. They are tall, friendly, warm, trusting, and delicious. When frightened by the sound of a passing starship, llamas produce a cry of alarm compared to a stalling engine or a donkey being fed into a wood chipper. Llamas are notably larger than, and therefore more superior to, the lowly alpaca. The alpaca is a murderous fiend compared to the noble and refined llama. Contrary to popular myth, llamas don't have beaks. And we should know, right? Oh, and also that poster from Sublight for being Employee of the Month, that's just for completing all of the side quests from Lilia at Sublight. Parvati's room hasn't changed. Vicar Max has added that OSI banner. And also the incense vessel from his little trip. Over in Felix's quarters, we've added another movie poster for Titus Androidicus. And there's Harlow's emblem, and there's supposed to be 3 toss balls here, not 2, but I'm not sure if my game is glitched or if there's actually a bug. There is another one involving Ellie's room over here. Over in Ellie's room, there's supposed to be a compass on a chain, which I know I picked up, but it doesn't show up. Oh well, not a big deal, but it's supposed to be there. And then over here...
Just stretching your legs, boss?
Yes. Over here, we've got The Exhilarating Adventures of Ultrabald Excelsior, issue 4 of 4. So, someone's been reading comics in their during their breaks. Anyway, that's it for the new decorations, so let's get the rest of this on the road. I do want to see, I have Felix with me, and according to his stats, yeah, I do not see his, oh, there it is. Yeah, they have an armor rating of like 134, and 137 for Parvati. Pretty close to each other.
I only wish they weren't showing
Spacers joy.
I'll tell you.
I'm going to go ahead and...
Miss Tennyson? Nah, she never looked my way. I knew of her, though. Who didn't? She was just about the busiest woman on the Groundbreaker.
What did folks say about her then?
Tough. Competent. Had a glare that'd stop you dead in your tracks.
You must be joking. Oh, there. That's one right there. Can't you just see the stench of impropriety radiating off of him?
For the last time, Access to Byzantium is impossible without a proper nav key. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to be somewhere else.
How splendid. Another rung leech wandering through the streets of Byzantium. Why, just this morning I thought to myself, as lovely as the gardens are, what they really need is more greasy vagrants frolicking through them.
They need less
Here
of you
you are.
frolicking through them.
Frolicking.
What a coincidence. Just now I thought I'd really like to sock this lady in the face.
Ugh, how utterly expected. You must be one of those violent vagrants I've heard tell of, wandering the system in search of brutality. Honestly, what is the board thinking letting so many of your ilk into the city proper? It's madness.
If the board isn't supposed to let people in the city, how'd you get here?
I earned my place here, just like everyone else. My grandfather was the CIO at Tile, you see.
But what did you do to earn your place here?
I just told you. My grandfather made millions of bits as CIO, and I earned them from him.
Inheriting bits isn't the same as earning
Of course
them.
it is. Wealth is the most visible, objective measure of success. And success isn't given to you, it's earned. My grandfather taught me that. If you have wealth, you're successful. And if you're successful, you must have earned it. Honestly, it's a simple concept.
One does not prove the other.
Chief Idea Officer. He came up with all the best ideas for their products. You know the font they use for stogie slims? That was him. Well, he described the idea of it to their font development team, then picked it from a list of choices, but that's basically the same thing.
No, it's not.
It was a very long list.
I'm sure it was. But then again, if I go to any font search engine on Google and do a search for fonts that are free to use, I'm going to come up with a long list too.
Let's see. He picked the colors they included in rainbow chips. No one else wanted purple, but he insisted. Everyone loves the purple ones. And you know how the Cosmic Smokes logo has an eye in the middle of a heptagon? He said that one came to him in a dream. He was a true visionary, so far ahead of his time.
I see, thanks.
You're welcome. Now, do we have any further business, or are you just here for the repartee?
What's wrong with more people coming to Byzantium?
What's wrong? It erodes the very pillars of our society. Merit, decorum, personal hygiene. This city is meant for us, the system's finest. We earned its luxuries. But now we are overrun with the unworthy and the ungrateful. And this early retirement nonsense is making it even worse.
Oh, I agree. No one should be handed anything.
Yes, thank you. Goodness, what's the system coming to when unkempt vagabonds are making more sense than the board itself?
I was talking about
By
you.
simply winning a lottery, those early retirees get an exclusive district of Byzantium to themselves. No one else is even allowed to go there. Tell me, how is that fair?
Life's not fair. Or a random lottery seems pretty fair to
Only
me.
if I win it. It's not right. I deserve to see any district I please. Why, if it weren't guarded, I'd... You know, you look like you've been shot at before. What say I hire you to investigate this travesty, and you get paid to do so?
Yeah, she ain't wrong, boss. We do got a knack for getting shot at.
Yes. Listen to your... What is that person's job exactly? Are they your secretary? Personal masseuse? Or do you just keep them around as a mobile armrest?
I keep them around to sock you in the
Well,
face.
it doesn't matter. What's important is that you think this is a fabulous arrangement, and you'd be thrilled to lend me your services. Aren't you?
Not particularly. But I'll look into it.
Fantastic. Consider yourself employed, vagrant. I hear the chosen retirees all enter the retirement district via the port landing pad, but it's completely locked down. You'd never get in that way. Unless, of course, you had a wealthy, beautiful benefactor of impeccable social pedigree, which you do. How fortunate for you. These codes will get you past the lockdown. You'll encounter security afterward, but surely you'll handle it. You are the violent sort of vagrant, after all.
How did you get those
The
access
same way
codes?
anyone gets anything here, of course. I made friends with the right people. Bits might earn you a place in Byzantium, but that means everyone here has little need for more of them. For favors like this, you need to spend... let's call it social capital.
And a bitchy attitude. However,
That's the last of them.
Finally. Is it just me, or are we getting more and more retired lately?
Not just you. Felt like a damn factory worker these last few months.
unsealed door.
Welcome to the Halcyon Holdings Corporation Early Retirement Center. You, the lucky few, have been selected to spend the rest of your days living the high life in your own private district in Byzantium. When you arrive, you'll be whisked away to your very own luxury penthouse, furnished exclusively by 24/7 Furniture's deluxe Falscowood collection. Some assembly required. 24/7 Furniture is not responsible for any injury, psychological damage, or divorce litigations that occur during the assembly process. After you get settled in, you'll have the chance to explore your new home. Why not go for a bite at one of our many restaurants, like CNP's Blazing Borscht Barbecue or Rizzo's All-You-Can-Crunch Cereal Buffet? Or maybe you'd like to head to the bar and enjoy an ice-cold Zero-G Brew by Spacer's Choice. Zero-G Brew, an ale that's good for what ails you, although in the early retirement district, nothing will. All this and more will be complimentary for the entirety of your stay, courtesy of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation. You won't have to spend a bit. So relax, grab a refreshment from one of our vending machines, and enjoy our specially constructed welcome center. While you're here, be sure to check out the displays for some fun facts about the early retirement program and selection process. Then, once you're ready, enter the elevator at the end of the hall and leave your troubles behind. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of your early retirement. Congratulations. Welcome to the house.
Did you know the early retirement selection system is the most rigorous cutting-edge lottery system in the entire galaxy? Here's how it works. Each candidate's name is printed on a plastic ball. The plastic ball is placed in an advanced turbo-encabulator with thousands of others. A team of advanced automechanicals operate a complex series of pulleys at random. The balls are funneled through the turbo-encabulator into an inserocitor tube. They are then launched at a specially designed accuracy matrix. The first ball that aligns with the center of the accuracy matrix is the winner for the day. By using this method, the Halcyon Holdings Corporation ensures that all early retirees are selected with complete impartiality and minimal collateral damage.
Halcyon Holdings Corporation Early
Each month, hundreds of thousands of workers apply to the early retirement program from across the Halcyon system. That doesn't just include workers on Terra 2, but those who live on the Groundbreaker or Hephaestus as well. Even after weeding out undesirable or unqualified candidates, only 2.3% of these entrants are selected for early retirement. I sure hope you bragged to your neighbors before you left. Way to overcome the odds, champ. We're sure that all of you had a wonderful time completing your early retirement application forms, but we know that even something like paperwork can get a little old after 87 pages. Fortunately, we're pleased to inform you that your hard work was all worth it. By knowing details like your shoe size, blood type, and dental history, we can properly customize your early retirement just for you. Every detail will be tweaked and adjusted to fit your unique needs, just like how Hammersmith weapons are built to fit each customer's personal style of combat. What you want. Hammersmith.
Have been selected.
The Early Retirement Center is the safest place in the entire system. Not a single crime has been committed within its walls since its construction. Also not wrong. Wow, this is all thanks to the hard work of the men and women in black and white, Universal Defense Logistics. Each and every day, UDL security protects the citizens of Byzantium, shielding them from harm. No dissidents run wild under their watch. So rest easy, early retirees. You're under the watchful eye of UDL security. Whether you're out and about or relaxing at home, UDL is watching you.
Spend the rest of your days living the high life.
Here in Byzantium, auto mechanicals will make your life cleaner, easier, and more efficient. Just like they do in the rest of the city, teams of auto mechanicals regularly sweep through the streets of the early retirement district to give it that classic Byzantium sheen. But that's not all. They'll attend to your personal needs as well. Want to order a drink? They'll bring one right to your table. Too bad you'll never want a drink. Make a mess in your new penthouse? They'll clean it up for you. Why, they'll even carry your luggage once it has been cleared by security and released from our customs warehouse, of course. So if you see 700 pounds of steel lumbering towards you, don't panic. You probably just dropped one of your Happy Dale Farms woolly curds. Whoops. Don't worry, I'm sure it's still good.
Own private district in Byzantium.
The Early Retirement Program is the personal brainchild of Minister of Earth Aloysius Clark, endorsed by Chairman Charles Rockwell. Minister Clark and Chairman Rockwell share a vision that every worker in Halcyon has a fair chance to experience the beauty and luxury of Byzantium. So before you step onto that elevator and embrace your retirement, remember to say, "Thank you, Minister Clark. You wouldn't be here without him."
When you arrive, you'll be whisked away to your very own luxury penthouse. Furnished.
They don't have anything really important that I want. Except, I do need to go ahead and sell that.
Exclusively by 24/7 Furniture's Deluxe Falscowood Collection. Some assembly required. 24/7 Furniture is not responsible for any injury, psychological.
Before beginning your new life in Byzantium, our safety regulations require you to consent to the following. You, hereinafter referred to as the employee, consent to the rules and regulations of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation Early Retirement Center, hereinafter referred to as the Center. The employee confirms that they have read and understand the rules of the Center as written in Article 3, Section 5, Clause 27 of the Early Retirement Welcome Packet. The employee also confirms that they received this packet en route to the Center. In the unlikely event of injury, death, or the loss of personal items, the employee assumes all liability for the incident. The Halcyon Holdings Corporation and its subsidiaries bear no responsibility for the incident and offer no compensation. Should the center recover any lost or stolen goods, the employee must retrieve them within 48 hours, or their goods will be forfeit. If the employee is having second thoughts about living out the rest of their lives in unparalleled luxury, then they may exit this terminal and return to the center's landing bay. There, the employee may turn in their winning early retirement ticket and await the next outbound transport. Don't worry, that ticket won't go to waste. It will be given to another deserving worker to keep the center's inbound population at ideal levels. Otherwise, if the employee is ready to begin the final leg of their early retirement journey and enjoy all the center has to offer, please select I consent. Congratulations, you just made the first step on the greatest journey of your life. Now please proceed to the elevator. Your early retirement
After you get
awaits.
settled in, you'll have the chance to explore your new home. Why not go for a bite at one of our many restaurants,
You ever seen a
like
real life
CMP's
saltine?
Blazing Borscht Barbecue,
What?
or Rizzo's All-You-Can Crunch Cereal Buffet.
Felix, saltuna is a kind of fish. Lives in the ocean. You knew that, right?
Serious? Fish made entirely out of saltuna?
Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Cute bit of dialogue there.
Oh no.
Not like I expect any.
Security patrol initiated. unexpected noise identified performing an area. Beginning.
Investigating. You're sweeping the area. Performing an area searching. Full security patrol initiated.
2. T&L Customer Service. I would like to formally request a refund on my new T&L shot cannon. You advertise it as the most reliable tool for disabling rude or disobedient auto mechanicals, but if you load it with an energy cell that is covered in your own blood, it misfires. I've used T&L weapons exclusively for 7 years, but if this matter is not resolved, then you have lost another customer. You will also have lost another customer if I die, so you better hope I can get this blood back into my body. And yes, it does look like Days was generous, doesn't it?
Performing an area sweep now.
That's one down!
We're gonna shut off to salvage this, right?
Thanks, boss. Been wanting to break something ever since we got here.
Note, due to the nature of their assignment, auto mechanicals in the HHC Center were not constructed with a standard maintenance mode or IFF transmitter responder. You'll be pleased to know that this saved 200 bits per unit, but please note that any injury sustained during routine repairs will come out of your paycheck. Thanks for being part of the UDL team. Disable the automechs and unseal the hatch. And this takes us down into the maintenance tunnels. I don't think they expected you... I don't think the game's designers expected you to fight your way out like that. I think what they expected you to do was to sneak around, disable the drones, and then come back up through the maintenance tunnels. Going to be interesting to take this news back to what's her name, huh?
Security patrol initiated. Reminder, please pay your gravesite fees. System. Searching for unauthorized persons. Processing.
Heads up, boss!
Everyone all right?
Oh, hello, Mary. Good to see you.
Unexpected. Sweeping the area.
Incoming!
Or maybe the game's designers did expect you to fight your way through the robot, through the auto mechanicals. They just didn't expect you to come down here. Or rather, they just didn't expect you to have an EMP grenade launcher.
what you get?
Okay, there we go.
Oh, done! Score one for Felix.
Sorry, Felix, but I'm pretty sure I was the one that got the final hit on that one.
All together.
Whoa, that's the last of them.
There we go. The ionized paper knife. A well-balanced energy blade. Ugh. Oh wait, I came from this way. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, for the good old days when you could simply ask a menial for refreshment. Out with it, you wretched contraption! Does nothing in this.
Well, Mary, you do what you have to do.
Oh, there. That's one right there. Can't you just see the stench of I must admit, I'm getting a certain thrill out of our little arrangement. If this goes well, perhaps I'll start hiring wandering delinquents to handle all of my affairs. It is going well, I hope.
So it turns out early retirement isn't so much a life of luxury as it is a brutal execution.
What? You mean it's just a sham they perpetuate so they can dispose of the rabble? That's brilliant. To take the most burdensome members of our society and simply remove them. Oh, I'll never doubt the wisdom of the board again. Why, I had no reason to be envious at all. What a relief.
I really should have expected this reaction.
How else would I react? A vagrant such as yourself couldn't possibly appreciate the emotional burden this news has lifted from my shoulders. But regardless of your ignorance, I promised you a fee for your services, so a fee you shall have.
With the bonus for the unexpected danger, of course.
I suppose that would be appropriate. Very well. Treat yourself to an extra bowl of sprat stew or something. In any event, while I'm deeply grateful for the peace of mind you've brought me, I will need some solitude to fully bask in it. So if there's nothing further...
Nope. Did what I came to do. And if we check the character's reputation... Yay. Instead of being 1% negative, I'm 3% negative. Woohoo.
There's nothing to see here. Yeah? All right.
Okay. Get your ass in here. Oh, that's the back door. Okay. Well, if you're going to just stand there, you know. Actually, I'm reminded vaguely of some of the perks in Skyrim that actually let you basically steal someone's armor while they're wearing it. and they never even notice. And I'm like, damn, now that's a good thief. There actually is a guy who is, well, he's got a magic act under the name the King of Thieves or something like that.
Hey, soldier. All ready?
Sounds like someone's been reading his mail, which would be a crime.
Let's not jump to conclusions.
How did you get in here?
Through the door.
You're not one of my guards. What are you doing here?
Oh, my law. Captain, that's the minister! Mr. Clark! Oh, wow.
I don't know if I trust this so-called minister fella, if that is his real name.
If this is about another aether wave clip or radio spot, you may kindly fuck off, as the parlance goes. I'm not doing any more.
Seems like we're getting off on the wrong foot. I said, seems like we're getting off on the...
Have I not made myself clear? Slowly and loudly, Aloysius, that's the only way these morons understand anything. I said, you may tell Charles to go fuck himself.
Call me a moron again and I will end you.
Terribly sorry. I thought you were part of Rockwell's PR team. But if you're not, that means you're a dissident? A real live dissident?
No, a real life freelancer.
Finally! High time we got the recognition we deserve.
And so affable. Why, you're nothing like the crazed hooligans the board loves to caricature. But what are you doing here? And how did you get in?
You get the feeling he's sheltered?
My friend, the slightest demonstration of independent thought or action renders one a dissident in the board's rather expansive definition of the term. Which is why I'm dying to know what brought you here.
I'm looking for dimethyl sulfoxide.
Drugs, of course. What else? Why did I get my hopes up? Back to idiot speak. I don't have any drugs. You should try a vending machine or a purveyor of curative goods.
I ain't buying it, boss. I said we check him for drugs.
Will that be all, then?
I have records proving you've been hoarding dimethyl sulfoxide.
Oh dear, I don't think I can say this any more slowly. Unless... Of course. It's Rockwell again. Who else? And I thought he was only holding me here to keep me out of the way.
You mean Chairman Rockwell's locked you up here?
You are a quick study, indeed. I've long suspected Rockwell of transacting business in my name, but this proves it.
So the chairman's a crook who can't be trusted? Who knew?
Please, this is important. Whatever it is that brought you here, Rockwell's the one behind it.
Why would he go through all this trouble?
How should I know? I've been under house arrest for years. But there is a way to find out, and perhaps to set things right. Whatever Rockwell's doing, he'll be doing it from the HHC headquarters. Your best lead is to look for details in his office.
If by look for details he means knock things about and take what we like, count me in.
That's certainly one way of doing things. Far be it from me to dictate your methods.
This all feels off, Captain. Like when there's a storm coming, but everything's quiet and still.
Believe me, Things have been off around here for a very, very long time. A reckoning is most certainly due. Why, this is starting to sound like an issue of Dissident Hunter.
You seem a little too excited by all this.
Are you not? We're talking about busting into the chairman's office here.
We're discussing industrial espionage, legal redress, the possible salvation of Halcyon. Is this not exhilarating? Also, this is the longest conversation I've had with someone else in quite some time.
I'm glad to have someone else on my side.
I dearly hope I'm not imagining this. Now, we've got to get into the HHC. That's in the Acropolis district, along with the other major corporate and government facilities. But only board employees are allowed into the district. There's a heavily guarded checkpoint just down the street. There might be a route through the maintenance tunnels, but I'm afraid I don't know specifics. Most people avoid the area for obvious reasons.
The tunnels sound good. I prefer a quiet approach.
You won't have much human company down there. Plenty of sprats and automechanicals, though.
Not anymore.
When you reach the HHC building, this access card should get you up to the executive suites, where the chairman's office and what used to be my office are.
How did you manage to hang on to your access
The
card?
board's lackeys are none too bright. I simply claimed I'd lost it and hid it somewhere no one would think to look.
Option number 3 here. Ew. Do I want to know?
I merely hid it in a book. No one reads anything longer than a few pages around here. There are a few advantages to dealing with imbeciles.
Well, thanks for your help.
Wait. Rockwell has one of the only terminals capable of transmitting to the Earthbound message drone. This is our chance. Please, take this and transmit it from his office. Rockwell hasn't given me any messages from Earth for years. He's desperate to keep me out of contact with the Earth Directorate. But they need to know what's happening here.
Why are you trusting me to help
Why,
you?
Indeed. I know so little about you, much less your motivations. But I'm afraid I don't have many options, confined as I am. Besides, I've nothing to lose. If you're looking into Rockwell, I can only hope you're also looking out for Halcyon.
Well, that is the idea. What's on the cartridge?
What isn't on it is the real question. I've gathered meeting minutes, internal messages, sustainability reports, and more, all exposing the corruption and mismanagement plaguing Halcyon. Once the rest of the Earth Directorate sees it, they'll have to send help.
But they wouldn't get here for... I don't even know. Shouldn't we do something our own selves?
It's worth a try, but the Earth Directorate still needs that message. We must hope for their intervention.
Good plan.
Perhaps there is hope after all. And now I entrust it to you. Good luck, and trust no one in the Acropolis district.
Sounds like Minister Clark is actually on our side. Especially if he's been under arrest for years.
Oh, there. That's one right there.
Let's see.
I'll sue every technician and employee.
Whoop. Don't need to go to Halcyon Parcel Service. Need to go over here.
work. Hey, present. Captain, I stand out here like a big, greasy thumb.
State your business. Please step away. This entry is for high-priority HHC business only. Huh. I didn't realize we were still using those iridescent stickers. But this looks right. I'll just need you to register your weapons with a revised request to carry 32B form. Each weapon will need a separate form.
Fine.
Now, let's see. Damn it. When did I run out of forms?
I can wait.
Well, how nice for you. Do you have any idea how long it takes to request new forms? Or how many citations I'll get for impeding HHC business in the meantime? Just know there are a bunch of guards upstairs and they're all high on dervish mist and low on patience. So try anything funny, and they'll paint the walls with your guts.
Don't worry, boss. I got a plan. First, we get ourselves some tossball sticks, right?
Felix,
and we
shut up.
To him all polite like.
Felix, don't you start.
Why do I have the feeling this isn't going to go easy?
Apologies for the wait. I was arranging my stationery. Personal assistant to Adjutant Akande and Chairman Rockwell. I'm also responsible for organizing the adjutant's stationery, which is more of a hobby. Ah. Oh, you were being serious. I'm obliged to inform you that Chairman Rockwell is unavailable for an indeterminate duration. Will there be anything else?
Done.
Don't mind me, I'm just over here stealing all the board's alcohol.
Excuse me, just a moment. Is there something I can do for you? I beg your pardon, Minister Clark's former office is currently closed to solicitors.
You should get back to your desk.
What? Oh dear. Thank you for reminding me. I can't stand the thought of someone else's hands touching my custom letterheads.
Bye.
Look at this fancy office. Chairman's bleeding the whole colony dry.
Might as well steal that broken snow globe. That's actually another decoration for the ship. Quite possibly the last one in the game, actually. View priority message. Chairman, the rough cut of the presentation is prepped to play. The PR department has a lot of work to do, but we've covered the basics. Halcyon is on the brink of starvation. The board scientists are working on a solution. Workers can look forward to the lifetime employment program for their chance to contribute. You'll see the current version when you print your key card for the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. And yes, before you ask, the dimethyl sulfoxide has been delivered there. It's waiting for your sign-off on the broad stroke, so I wanted to make sure you saw it. Don't worry, I'll make sure it gets properly edited. Print a Ministry key card.
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters. I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed. But I can assure you there's nothing to fear. We've got a solution. It's called the Lifetime Employment Program. We will freeze most of the colony to preserve resources, while the best and brightest of Byzantium continue living in prosperity. Look, you idiots! How many times do I have to tell you we can't say shit like that? Fire whoever wrote this! While Halcyon's brightest minds solve the problem of our nutritional shortage, the rest of the colony will be placed in suspended animation. Individuals will be revived on a rotating basis, so that every Halcyon can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again. And someday, in the not-too-distant future when we've solved this crisis, we'll all be back together again working for the good of Halcyon. Until then, the board shall provide for the deserving just as it always has. So, obey your supervisors, take your vitamins, follow your corporate-mandated grooming rituals, and rest assured with the board on your side, there is nothing to worry about.
That was all a story, wasn't it? It's not real.
I always knew the board was crooked. But this is just evil.
Personal files before I send that last message. But now the shoe drops, doesn't it? Subject, what's taking so long? Percival, how long does it take to clear out an abandoned office? Toss Clark's belongings into the streets of Byzantium for all I care. He's not using them. Just get my office expansion done before I return. I'm tired of staring at that hole in the wall. And for law's sake, do something about that doom and gloom presentation. We have the brightest minds in Halcyon working in our public relations department, and they make this announcement sound like a funeral elegy. We need something bright and cheerful. We need something we can sell. Percival, reschedule my regular Wednesday massage. I have urgent matters to attend to off-site. Chairman, I've made inquiries and can confirm that we have plenty of food, real food, stored away from our inter-colony trade. The nutritional profile of food produced within Halcyon has continued to decline. Soon, people are going to start feeling hungry no matter how much they eat. Unfortunately, it's gotten too expensive to continue buying from even the closest colonies, but what we will have will sustain Byzantium and a minimal workforce for the foreseeable future. Chairman, the heads of the other 9 corporations are up in arms about their shares again. As head of UDL, you can overrule them easily, but I thought you should know they're at it again. Percival. Return to root. Reading cartridge, packaging data, transmitting to drone, message en route. Please allow between 3 and 9 months for your message to complete transit. Oh, and the board doesn't like me anymore. Or at least not as much. Yeah, my negative opinion has gone up 4 more percent. Ooh, however shall I survive? See, here's the thing about the reputation system, is that they can adore you and fear you at the same time. Like, for instance, some of these organizations that I'm at 100% reputation with, I can easily run up the other bar all the way to 100%. And it won't affect my discount at all. They'll just... Oh, crap. That's right. Fortunately, there's nothing of particular importance here in the ministry other than, you know, getting to where you're supposed to go. They're all too wrapped up in their paperwork, but that guy there might see, so I'm not going to bother. Besides, it's just a couple of weapon parts.
I think I'm going to start taking my lunches out to city. That woman from downstairs.
That scientist? The one who's been...
Welcome to the Human Resources Portal for the Ministry of Accuracy and Morale. Humans are our fourth most important resource here at the Ministry. If you have a complaint about anything work-related, write about it here. You will feel much better after you do. Of course, what they're not saying is they probably won't do a damn thing about it. Theodore Isaacs keeps eating my purple berry lunches. I know that sprat-toothed little snot is the one doing it. I've seen him with cracker crumbs on his lips and purple berry stains on his lab coat. Working next to him and seeing him pick the remains of my lunch out of his teeth just makes me want to scream. There, I did it. I screamed a little. That felt good. I'm just going to sit in the kitchen and wait for him to do it again. I'll catch him in the act and then I'll come back and write up another entry. I'm going to be so livid. Thank goodness your disguise doesn't drain while you're not moving. Remember, human trials are expensive. Test with animals first. Trial 27. I've tried replicating the work Dr. Wells initially did on the revivifying formula, but his notes are basically unintelligible. This may take a few iterations. Trial 64. That's tetabirate ethanol, not toasted dinner roll. Trial 68. Maybe it is toasted dinner roll. Trial 82. Powers that be are demanding results. I have submitted my catalog of dead sprats. Trial 127. I didn't realize it was possible to run out of sprats. Trial 128. Which genius left the new shipment of sprats in the kitchen? Trial 237. Still attempting to complete Wells's formula. Still going through a dozen sprats a week. We've got a lot of work ahead of us if this is ever going to be effective at reviving people from long-term hibernation. And now, you know the real reason why they wanted to get their hands on him. Oh, great. I should have taken the one back in the lab. Oh well. I can deal with it one time. Remember, you recharge it by successfully lying to people. And I may not even have to do that.
What? Something's not right. What's going on? Keep us out.
View lab notes. The addition of dimethyl sulfoxide to the current round of tests has resulted in some improvements. Subjects are showing improved circulation and increased neural activity. However, our formula is still missing something. We are still unable to fully revive subjects from long-term hibernation, and removing their supply of dimethyl sulfoxide results in their rather excruciating death. Yeah, Mary, this is really damn close to the end. We're probably going to wrap up this stream early, and I might do a mini stream afterwards, or I might just let it go for the night and start a new stream tomorrow. Their supply of dimethyl sulfoxide results in their rather excruciating death. The problem is compounded when we consider reviving and freezing subjects multiple times over their lives. To make matters worse, we've had a hard time securing additional dimethyl sulfoxide. We may have to make do with this batch. Warning, this procedure may result in the invalidation of experiment results and the death of human test subjects. Further information. Sudden withdrawal from dimethyl sulfoxide is highly lethal and will result in the cancellation of any in-progress experiments. Experimental integrity and test subject vitality can be maintained by leaving a 73.629% dimethyl sulfoxide concentration in circulation. Okay. Well, we can do one or the other. Fortunately, it doesn't matter which one we do. Essentially, if we transfer 26%, the test subjects remain alive. And it takes a little bit longer to get the colony back on track, but they do. If you transfer 100%, the ones that they have in suspension here die, but you're able to get the people on the Hope that much quicker, and they're able to help the colony that much quicker. But the end result is still the same. It just takes longer. However, proceeding to withdraw the maximum non-lethal quantity of chemicals from the experiment. Calibrating sensors, checking dimethyl sulfide levels, transferring to container. Yeah, I've acquired the book, which, if I'm not mistaken, has been added to, well, not hers, obviously. Probably, yeah. History of Heresy, The Roots of Philosophism. And the cracked snow globe is over here. Could it have been Hawthorne's tampering that gave this janitorial automechanical a predilection for picking up junk?
If you don't, you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports. And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You've had quite a career.
You mean stumbling around the colony pretending to know what I'm doing?
I think you're being modest. I've been keeping up with you ever since Emerald Vale. Now that was an interesting piece of work. A rundown backwater, barely worth the ink on a map. Until you showed up. You walked through Edgewater and in your wake transformed it from a loyal company town to a haven for dissidents. I'm actually a little impressed. All this happened because some mysterious stranger fell out of the sky.
You almost sound like you approve.
Not always. For the longest time, I could never be sure if you were on our side or against us. You should be back on the Hope, frozen in a hibernation chamber. Yet here you are, flying about in a stolen ship, leaving a trail of paperwork in your wake. The board doesn't know what to make of you. But I do. I've seen your potential. There's so much we can do for this colony.
I'm sure you didn't bring me all this way just to flatter me.
You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate.
I'm listening.
Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us.
Wanted for what, exactly?
He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. I could go on. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath. And he's using you. You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal.
The answer is no. We're done here, Ada.
You are making a serious mistake.
Adjutant Akonde's call has been terminated. Will there be anything else, Captain?
Let's get out of here. Whoop. Not where I wanted to go. That is.
We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
Congratulations, Ada. Just to take a different crew out.
busy in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me.
I found your I forget about the chemicals for a second. The colony's on the verge of collapse.
What? Oh, yes. Well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon from annihilation.
It gets worse. The chairman's planning on freezing every worker in Halcyon.
Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse, and the chairman's plan to save all of us is to save himself? I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us? That's not a plan. That's a goddamn escape clause. That makes 2 things we don't have. Time and chemicals to revive the other settlers. None of this was supposed to happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. We were supposed to have enough time to solve the problem before we all starved.
I found your chemicals in the Ministry. The board was testing them on human subjects.
Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board.
By the way, before we go any further, the chemicals that he's asking for is the dimethyl sulfoxide. That's actually DMSO, and you may have had the chance to play with it in chemistry class back in high school. Have you ever had that thing where you, like, dipped your pinky in a chemical and then dipped it in a solution of peppermint essence, and you could taste the peppermint even though you never actually put it on your tongue? That's because the DMSO was transporting the peppermint essence across your skin to your bloodstream. That's all DMSO is for, is that it basically bypasses that particular barrier.
Damn, that's not enough. Not nearly enough for the whole ship. I could revive a handful of settlers. Maybe, possibly, 10. We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room in their hibernation chambers.
I might have been wrong about that 26%. We need to think about this. There has to be something we can do.
Lining up every member of the board and shooting them in the back of the head. Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists, the brightest minds Earth ever sent us.
Well, let's start with the scientists.
The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're like reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope.
There's a way. It's not exactly safe, but we could skip the Hope into the system.
Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius! We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab.
The Hope's probably damaged. We'll have to route power from the Unreliable.
Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
And that's going to work, without killing us in the process. I thought intra-system microjumps were prohibited for a reason.
Yes, there's always a risk of a catastrophic collision between the Hope and, say, Terra 2, in theory. But you'll be fine, provided your calculations are correct. You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope's skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately.
I'll do it.
I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from oblivion, then we have to take it.
I wanted to talk about the Hope.
How can I help?
Should I expect any resistance?
It wouldn't surprise me. When I pulled you out of the Hope, the board nearly intercepted me. I expect they stepped up security since my little act of larceny.
Just so we're clear, you know skip drives aren't supposed to be used like this.
Skip drives were never designed to be used within a system, but I skipped my ship across Halcyon when I rescued you, and that turned out fine, mostly. That is, I ruined my ship and nearly killed myself in the process, but the maneuver was well within acceptable margins of risk. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
People aren't going to notice the gigantic colony ship slamming into the rings of Terra 2?
Unlikely. The Hope is as massive as the Groundbreaker, but compared to the rings of Terra 2, positively minuscule. The board might notice, possibly, depending on the position of their heads relative to the depth of their collective posteriors.
That's all for now. Yep, Carrie definitely caught that. In other words, depending on whether or not depending on how far their heads are up their ass. Oh, by the way, Carrie, since you got me thinking about it, I thought I'd make a point. We have the place where I live, we're sort of a local medical hub, so we have 2 hospitals and several large clinics. And the clinic that I go to, the neurology department, is literally in the same wing, on the same floor as the proctology department. Now, what does that tell you?
Captain, I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is not flattering.
Now, where's the Hope? There.
We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive.
Tell me about the Hope.
The Hope is the Groundbreaker's prettier, sleeker sister. She wandered off and got lost for 70 years, but just recently was found. Also, there are hundreds of thousands of frozen organic life forms hibernating in her hold.
What's going to happen if I skip the hope?
If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash the entire colony ship into Terra 2. Or the sun.
That's all for now. And definitely taking my two biggest hitters, Felix and Nyoka.
Hey, boss, I want to talk to you.
Yes, Felix.
You know, they're gonna make a serial about our adventures one day. I've been trying to think of a good title for this episode. I like the sound of The Skip Job. No, wait, I got it. Hope in Dark Times. Get it? Hope? Like the ship. That's what folks in the business call wordplay.
Not bad, Felix. Our adventure serial's going to need a name, too.
Got a list right here.
Can it wait?
Thrilling Tales of the Unreliable.
I guess not.
Or maybe Spine-Chilling Stories from the Edge of the System. Was also considering Astounding Adventures in the Ether. I'm partial to that last one.
I'm glad you're having fun, but we've got a job to do. How about this one? Felix's adventures in shutting up and doing as he's told. I think I'm not going to do that one, but still.
Yeah, we got a job to do. We're hijacking a lost colony ship and slamming it right into the rings of Terra 2. Stealing the Hope from the board, skipping it across the whole damn system. This is going to be great. I can't wait.
So shut up so we can get on with it. Unless we all die horribly.
Come on, boss. We're not going to die horribly. It'd kill our ratings. I'm sure you've got plans to make. As for me, I got to keep practicing my signature dropkick. The Hope might have cameras.
Well, don't practice it on our way through the Hope, please. I didn't really use their abilities that much, but that is his unique ability. His companion ability is a drop kick. Universal Defense Logistics. Available functions. Patch, status, and logs. Patch. Power is now being routed from the docking bay. Reactor is now in auxiliary power mode. Status. Power. The following modules are now operational. Life support, engines, navigation, communications, security. Maintenance status. Engines, 22,056 days overdue. Power regulators, 22,159 days overdue. Coolant systems, 22,036 days overdue. Security automechs, 22,098 days overdue. Skip drive, 21,985 days overdue. Janitorial, 22,175 days overdue. Pending work orders. M3697, macrowave short-circuited after some idiot left his fork on his plate. M3699, macrowave clock is stopped. M3704, macrowave is stuck on high power mode. M3745, macrowave has stopped working entirely.
We're not exploding, so I guess it worked.
You know, when they posted us here, I told them there wasn't any point. Nobody would be so stupid as to fly to the ass end of the colony for this derelict. Shows how much I know. You've got about 5 seconds to tell me what you're doing here before I make you take a walk outside.
I was sent to repair the reactor so it doesn't explode and take the colony out with it.
Explode? Holy shit. Alright. You'll want a uniform so my staff doesn't shoot you on sight. They're a dangerous mix of bored and trigger happy. We've got a few extra in the old badge station to my right. Good luck.
The whole starving to death thing isn't all it's cracked up to be. On the upside, the bathrooms are the cleanest they've been since we left port. It's made my job a hell of a lot easier. Yeah, I bet it has.
Great work.
Come to think of it. Trimmer Cleaver Ultra. Nah, she's got a Trimmer Cleaver Hyper.
Keep your shoulders up.
Message exchange T778. Darling, I've just had a frightening epiphany. What's wrong? I've just realized we'll be nearing our 50s when we arrive in Halcyon. Yes. But dear Lucas, when they wake him up, he'll still be 6. By the time he's out of schooling, we'll be nearly 60. I feel as though time is being stolen from me. He'll work on the ship when he graduates. We'll see him again. Automated audio transcript. You gotta help me, Alexei. I'm gonna go mental. What's the problem? It's the food. Our rations? Are you having digestion issues? No. I just hate Borscht, Doctor. I hate it. I can't spend the next 10 years eating it. I thought you had an actual medical problem, Frank. I do. It's disgusting. Get back to your post. You're wasting my time. Come on, there's got to be something you can prescribe. You'll get used to it or you'll starve. Up to you. And now come back out and reset the timer.
What?
Current pod count, 9,999. Logs. Pod removal. Occupant. Han Solo, removed by unknown crew member. Continue. Automated audio transcript. Unknown. Hundreds of thousands of colonists left to drift out here forever just to keep from damage. Yep, that's pretty much exactly what he said.
One of those pods? Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, you are the only one who wants to do that. Manual log L4127. Dear Diary, everyone is running around trying to figure out how we're going to eat, but none of it means anything if I can't keep us on course. It's hell, charting 26 years of travel through spaces. I don't know if I can handle it. So much pressure, so many lives. If I get one thing wrong, one smudged decimal point, one off by one miscalculation, we could crash into the asteroid. I keep thinking of the colonists. They just never wake up. I've called you all here because the numbers on our rations are off. Off? What do you mean, off? We have too many. Someone hasn't been taking theirs. Extra food sounds like a good thing, darling. Not extra. Someone's getting their food from another source. They must have stashed somewhere. So, someone could have bought some from Earth. If they did, we need to include it in our rationing, Frank. Every bit of food on this ship is to be split among us all. It's theirs. It isn't yours to take. This isn't about ownership. This is about survival. We're going to run out eventually, and the longer we last, the closer we get to figuring this out. All right, all right. I want everyone to interrogate their crew. Find whoever's not eating their share and bring them forward. L4391. Perhaps there is hope yet. Mama used to have such a garden. I grew up on her tomatoes and lemons and limes. When we left Earth, she was so kind as to share a sample of seeds with me, so that wherever we end up, I might start my own garden. Now, buds grow in hydroponics. This may not be a backyard, but it is something. I remember you every day, Momochka, now more than ever. Law help me, it worked. I'm going to hell, but it worked. Now, how do I break the news to the captain? Cap, wanted this on record. Sick of the witch hunt. It's me. I haven't been eating my rations. Why? Don't need it. Don't mind feeling hungry. I need my chief engineer with his full faculties. I'm glad you owned up to this, but start eating your full share. That's an order. All due respect, Cap, we're up Poop Creek. I'm not sure that's an order means a lot right now. It holds weight now more than ever, Frank. We need to stay organized. Well, I ain't doing it, so either shove that down my throat yourself or give my leftovers to someone else.
Trespasser sighted.
Looks like we're doing this.
Hell of a shot.
Everyone all right?
I hate that my disguise ran out, but route communications through the unreliable.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm system and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found.
Logs, automated radio transcript. Begin audio log. Is this thing working? I said begin audio. Damn it. This is P. Wells. Yes, let's go with that. Work continues on test subject 112, retrieved from hibernation bay 8. Time of extraction, let's say 2.5 hours ago. Time of death, 6 minutes prior. Explosive cell death, my arch nemesis. Haunting my every attempt at reviving our frozen colonists, making a mockery of my procedures. I've tried every combination of every chemical available to me. Attempted every variation of every possible thawing procedure. A gradual melt, a flash thaw, extremities first, brain first. Don't know how much more of this I can take. 4 hours of sleep in the last 72. Can still hear their screaming in my nightmares. Test subject 112, real name Harley Stanton, age 39, enjoyed singing. I'm sorry, Harley, I couldn't save you. Begin audio log as soon as I say the words begin audio log. What a ridiculously inconvenient program. What happens if I just accidentally say the phrase audio log? Don't know why I'm talking to a frozen colonist. You're losing it, Phineas. Focus. Come on, make the incision. There we go. Excellent. Well, well, my frigid friend, you disobeyed the moratorium on ingesting food 36 hours prior to hibernation, didn't you? Thank the law for disposable gloves. Steady now. Steady. Oh, that's not good. That's definitely not good. Damn slippery scalpel. Who makes these anyway? Spacer's choice? Alright, I've got no choice. I'm going in. Okay, let's see. To get to the bridge... Probably through here. Okay, I wasn't sure if I had actually used that one or not.
They're never gonna wake up. The least we could do is bury them.
Should we assign Sam for a cleanup?
Here they come.
Everyone all right?
Okay, I give up. This Civil War nonsense is exhausting. Blood everywhere. Every time I turn around, another part of the ship has been sealed off. How am I supposed to do my job if the captain locks all the doors? Screw it. I'm going to find a way to lock myself in a hibernation chamber and they can wake me up when we arrive at the colony. Have fun cleaning your own floors from now on, a-holes. I don't know what in the void just happened, so I'm writing it down in case I'm going insane. Pulled a guy out of a pod and his arm got all clammy, rubbery almost. I poked at it for a bit and it started to liquefy like it was made of water. Stuffed him back in quick as I could, but the rest of him ain't in a good way. Don't think he'll make it. This better not be a trend, or after all this, we're gonna starve anyway.
These were the private quarters of the Hope's former crew. Shall we hold a moment of silence for the dearly departed?
No.
That's odd, because my programming would indicate that when forced to confront the idea of self-death, organics prefer... Oh, I see. Yes, never mind.
Must be like coming home for you, boss.
Do you mind not pushing me back so that I can... do that? Automated audio transcript R2317. What is it, Resi? Captain, hey, sorry for waking you. One of the pod alarms went off. I didn't know what to do. Pod alarms? The colonists? Yes, see? I'll check it out. Thanks. Manual log L4403. I'm writing this down but because I'm not sure what to do, but I want the incident on record. One of our colonists has gone missing. The cameras in the pod bay have been deactivated for I don't know how long. Resi helped me hook another up in secret. I've been checking on it every morning, and today I discovered our chief engineer tampering with one of the pods in the middle of the night. I haven't confronted him yet. I'll collect more evidence before I do. I don't know why Frank would start waking people up. We're short on food as it is. I should throw you out of the airlock, Frank. You should be thanking me for solving our food crisis. This is your solution, sacrificing innocent people? What's going on? Resi, find Alexei. We're throwing Frank in the brig. What? Why? He's the one who's been tampering with the pods. Oh, what? You're going to spare her the grisly details? I ate them, Resi. You ate them? And I'm not apologizing for it. If we don't survive, they're as good as dead anyway. Oh no, I can't. I'm going to be sick. Just find Alexei. Transcript R2490. I've been talking to Frank. And? How's the brig? Captain, he makes a kind of sense. Damn it, Alexei, not you too. Don't listen to that man. What if your wife can't grow more food? What if it fails? Then we'll figure something out. We are not cannibals. Well, there's why Frank wasn't feeling hungry.
I would have just broken it.
And yeah, I'm going to continue to steal everything. Because, why not? You know, why break a trend? Also, it's not stealing. You'll notice nothing here is marked as property. Manual log L5122. I'll ask Momochka, I failed. The tomatoes die on their stalks. Something must be wrong with the soil. We have a month of rations. The crew talks of cannibalism. My Willem fights to bolster off their wilting spirits and to bar the way from those too far gone. At nights, while my stomach grumbles, I fear I, too, might stray towards that dark path. But I think of our Lucas asleep in his pod, and then I think of all those other sons and daughters and mothers and fathers. If I wake up in Halcyon and my family have been devoured by these ghoulish men, I will steel my resolve. I will resist. Manual log L5141. The physical effects of starvation are well documented, but we never learned about the toll they take on your mind. The things you hold true become walls between hunger and satisfaction. The difference between right and wrong blurs. I told Frank we'd have to eat about a third of the colonists in order to survive our journey. When we still had rations, that seemed impossibly unjust. 10 of thousands of innocent people to save 24. Now I'm not so sure. Whoop. Automated audio transcript, 2571. Attention all crew. I don't know who let Frank Nolda out of his cell, but he is now an enemy of this ship. Anyone in league with him will be in prison for the duration of our journey. Anyone caught tampering with the cold storage pods will be frozen, and upon our arrival in Halcyon, you will be turned in to the authorities. I am locking off the cold storage base, Frank. Frank, if you can hear me, there's still time to turn yourself in. Please. Message exchange T2548. Rezi, can you get us to Halcyon? I've been working on it. Can you get us there? I have to, Captain. Good. Meet me on the bridge. We'll make our last stand there. Wait. What about Donna? She won't be joining us. What the heck? What happened? I'll fill you in when you get here. Hurry. Okay. I can't believe this is happening. Sounds like it. They did mention in the other terminals a civil war on board the ship.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him.
Fine. The sooner we jump this ship, the sooner we can get back to solid ground.
Okay, comms. Patch Ada through.
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do.
Hang on, I need
Wait,
to take care of
are
something.
you leaving me with the Hope's computer? You have no idea what it's like to converse with him. Imagine, simulate another organic jostling your circuits when he tries to... I mean, I'll be ready when you are, Captain.
Status, power auxiliary, communications auxiliary, logs, R2580. Open the door, Will. No. You're killing us. Better you than the colonists. This is idiotic. If we don't keep this ship afloat, they'll die anyway. Unnecessary risk. Rezi is plotting our course. The ship will fly true. You're gambling with hundreds of thousands of people's lives, and you're handpicking which few you'll consume in your madness. Damn it. Alexei, find me a drill. Audio transcript 2582. Captain, you hear that? Hear what? The drill stopped. Maybe they're taking a break. Maybe it broke. Maybe they're trying to get into cold storage. If they get through before they starve, they'll outlast us. Keep working, Rezi. I'll take care of it. I think I'm the only one left. I don't know what Captain Hunt did down there, but he hasn't come back, and they haven't used the drill, and I'm done. The course is set. I'm down to my last day of food, and I don't want to die like Donna did. Fly true, Hope.
Are you sufficiently prepared?
I'm ready to skip the Hope.
Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive. And also potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved?
Skip the Hope to Terra 2.
Starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2.
Do it.
Worst ways to go out, I suppose. It's nice knowing you, boss.
Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADA Does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
Here's hoping that I can trust Ada to make the skip jump. Yep, I can.
Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should check in on him.
Hey, we made it. Let's do it again.
Oh, that's sealed. Oh, that's right. I have a better idea. Let's not and say we didn't. It won't matter.
I don't recognize you.
You probably shouldn't be talking to me. Corporate doesn't like us socializing on duty.
I'm just trying to make sure.
I was transferred here by HHC.
I guess you.
I better get back to
I
work.
don't want any trouble.
Spacer's Choice found a flaw in you. Paranoid. Repeatedly getting caught by guards has made you jittery, double so when roaming around restricted areas or something. Or sneaking. Personality attributes -1. But if you think at this point that I need another perk... Oh, silly me. Today I found a finger lodged in one of the security mechanicals. I caught the thing scratching at my floors because the finger was stuck in one of the leg joints and it couldn't move properly. This is getting to be ridiculous. If you're experiencing errors, I should take you to a mechanical engineer.
This unit.
You just said error twice.
Error. This unit is functioning correctly. There is no need.
Good job, Captain. Fast talking a mechanical. Okay. For a second, I couldn't see the clear route back to the ship.
Captain, I am receiving a transmission. Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
The board is here. They've found me somehow. They're about to blast my door open. I can't stop them from getting me, and there isn't enough time to explain everything. But there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible. How can I be of assistance? Goodbye.
Yeah, okay.
We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
Ada, the lab was right next to the Hope. You flew the equivalent of next door. As per official arrest protocol outlined in Defense Logistic Incarceration Document A43.21-6, the individual who has been detained at this location must appear in an official Halcyon court at the appointed date and time with this paperwork in order to register that they are indeed properly arrested for crimes listed under their name. Failure to appear at the appointed date and time with this paperwork will result in additional late fees and the rescheduling of the prisoner's appointed incarceration registration date. Failure to appear at subsequent court dates may incur additional fees. Halcyon Court is not responsible for missed appointments that are a consequence of being held within a locked cell or other high-security containment location. Please note that this is the only copy of the receipt that you will receive, and that it is your responsibility to have it with you when you appear for your registration session. Reminder, subject may be unstable. Well, crap. Aha. But he left his passcode on a Sisty Pig. If you are seeing this screen, I, Phineas V. Wells, have been perniciously kidnapped and very probably incarcerated by the perfidious and cowardly government of Halcyon in the prison fortress of Tartarus. If I have not already been executed for charges leveled against me, I hope the person reading this terminal will find a way to finish my work or rescue me, preferably the latter. This screen constitutes my last will and testament. I commend my body and my belongings to the icy depths of the ether. If this is player name here, I've prepared an emergency care package located in a hidden panel. Unlock the panel from my terminal and claim its contents immediately. The Hope made it to Halcyon after all, 25 years too late. The board doesn't know what to do with an entire ship full of frozen colonists, so they're going to leave them there. Corporate tells their survival is impossible. They've tried absolutely nothing, and apparently they're all out of options. Balderdash. Cell regeneration after long-term hibernation is really just a question of thermodynamics. I'm quite confident I can find a way to revive the Hope's colonists if corporate would authorize my requests. Frankly, I don't see why I need the permission of my employers to conduct experiments in the name of scientific advancements. What nonsense! Did Newton beg permission from his employers before discovering the 3 laws of motion? Genius is not beholden to the vicissitudes of bureaucracy. Besides, the Hope has a cargo of hundreds of thousands of colonists. The board practically expects a few to go missing. Second entry. 113 seconds, new record. Most of my subjects last 93 seconds on average before total cellular liquefaction reduces them to several gallons of organic soup 3 degrees above freezing temperature. 113 seconds of screaming. This subject was stronger than the others, but in the end, his body failed to survive the revival process. He was my 12th subject to die. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. Strictly speaking, I do know. The Hope has hundreds of thousands of colonists. I've only experimented on 12. How many more before I successfully revive a single subject? 1? 10? 100? 500? Statistically insignificant. If I experimented on one subject every month, I wouldn't make a dent in the Hope's population in a lifetime. Can still hear the screaming. Trouble sleeping, trouble concentrating. Psychological toll significant. On to subject number 13. Final entry. I always suspected this would happen. The board finally discovered what I'd done and sent their headhunters to track me down, but they'll never find me. They say I'm a murderer, and they're right. I am. I regret what I've done. But I'm not about to turn myself into the board. I'm not going to go begging the board's forgiveness. Only the Hope's colonists can forgive me for what I've done. They're the only people who can set things right, and I'm going to find a way to revive them no matter how long I have to stay in hiding. I've got my notes with me, I have my equipment, and now I have this lab. It's time I return to work. Oh yeah, there's that. Now, where did you say that damn panel was? Up here, in his private quarters.
Nicely done.
A new weapon, Finn's Force. Phineas really likes to make weird weapons. And it looks like a assault rifle fitted with fun times and mag to ray, an in-ray weapon. And the nav key for Tartarus. Reminder, extinguish plasma cutter before returning to pocket.
Everyone all right?
To be honest, I do have a strong dislike for games where the enemies continue to spawn in behind me. But it was just, in this case, it's just those three, so it's not a big deal.
Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum security prison planet, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as you humans put it, air some concerns.
Well, folks, I ain't exactly keen on busting into a prison, but riddling board stooges with bullets does sound like a ride and a half.
I'm not one for pointless heroism, but the board's gonna be after us next. We gonna finish what we started?
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain.
We can't abandon Phineas. We have to free him if we've any hope of saving the colony.
I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
Getting in is the simple part. It's getting out again that's the trouble. Trust me, I know.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus, you may be there a while. Or permanently.
Crew, what do you think about all this?
It's the craziest plan I've ever heard. And I mean that as a compliment.
You didn't hire me to think. And I ain't about to start now. You're my boss. And I'll walk into fire with you.
I think it's insane. But maybe the colony needs a healthy dose of insanity right about now.
I know it's dangerous. And I won't lie and say I'm not scared out of my wits. But I couldn't live with myself if we didn't do something.
You're asking for more than bravery from us, Captain. But there are worse ways to go than dying for a good cause. I'm in.
Let Sam get the grime out. It's what our units do best.
The entire plan is a terrible idea, but I admire your bravado, Captain, which leads me to illogically believe, against the odds, that you will be successful.
We're doing it. Everybody strap in.
If we don't make it, at least it'll be a great story.
Got my trusty tossball stick. Got my ass-kicking boots. I'm ready, boss.
Outstanding.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For real crew. That means we got each other's backs. Right?
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a prison. Seems like your tendency towards risky behavior is rubbing off on me, Captain.
Command not recognized.
Waiting on your command, Captain.
And before I go jumping into the prison, because that was essentially the game's way of saying this is the point of no return, finish up any side quests. But so before I start the final mission, let me go take my blood pressure medicine. Be right back.
pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684. Resident escapes are as follows: 0. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you, Captain. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return.
Nice try, but not happening.
Understood. If you die or are incarcerated for life, I can generate a new ID for the next captain. I would prefer if you returned, though. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation of UDL corporate policy. You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point your vessel will be seized and you will be executed.
What the hell is with you people on landing violations?
You people? Did you just cast a generalization on upstanding UDL employees? That's a fine of 200 bits. You're up to 5,708, not including the cost of your execution and the disposal of your remains, which will be assessed posthumously.
Fine, execute the chairman's eyebrow stylist over a lost biometric ID. That'll end well. You hullhead, don't you know who I am? Transmit your biometric ID so I know who to fire.
Huh? Oh, yes, sir. Right away, sir. I just couldn't see you clearly before. Screen's on the fritz. Damn thing. But for the record, now that I hear you, I totally recognize you. Totally. You're, you, of course. Obviously. Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Another ship just pulled into your dock. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the... Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance? See you soon, Cap.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if they're going to reveal this. I don't know. I don't remember when they revealed it. But another reason why the director had been keeping people out of communication with Earth for several years, it wasn't on purpose. There haven't been any communications with Earth. So you can imagine what that says about what's going on Earth. Yeah. It's quite possible in the game, although we're uncertain, that Earth has been destroyed in the last 100 years, yeah.
The captain did right by us once. Now it's time. The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I'm here. Push on, Margot.
Stay down, Hullhead. Well, Groundbreaker doesn't need something that's not right. I'm gonna go out. Somebody stay down, Hullhead. Great. More people.
Score one for Felix.
Beginning security.
The hell? Why Why are the Mardet shooting at us? But yeah,
I'll lock up behind you. I am pleased to inform. Please. Oh.
Attend. I wager it'll take, to be honest. Huh?
Transmission? I'll be here.
Save into a different slot.
Did right by us. Warning and error. The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, my dad.
More paperwork.
Come on. Damn N-ray weapons.
The captain did right by us. The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, Mardat. Open fire!
Stay down, Hullhead.
What? Come. Are you new here?
Are you talking while on shift?
Oh, no.
Your secret's safe with me.
Keep your eyes out for this.
Oh, I will, but mostly I'm keeping my eyes out for ammo. For no particular reason other than why break a trend.
Great work. Walking into a prison. They locked me up. I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
They say nobody's ever broken out of the labyrinth. Didn't say nothing about breaking in, though. Lead the way, boss. I got your back.
Now you see those 3 little dots out beside that? That means I can use conversation 3 times to recharge it. All these vending machines, and not one of them has a suit of the good armor. Anyway, down into the pit. Pod 1, Hague S. Possession of anti-UDL communications. Duration 17, out Williams T. In Williams T. In reason, inciting violence. In duration 31, out Black M. In Black M. In duration 5, in reason, random selection. In error, in reason, error. In duration undefined, out error. Sounds like our guys over in Pod 2. In dimethyl sulfoxide containers, out straitjackets and riot batons, out ballistics vests, in hibernation chamber, out indoctrination pamphlets, in forced pacification system refills, in hibernation chamber, in material storage and shipping containers. Structural changes needed to accommodate hibernation chambers in the labyrinth facility. Beginning with the requirement that every chamber receive a constant supply of, at minimum, 34 kilowatts, and that occupants of these chambers be injected with a steady supply of UDL's patented Vito hibernation fluid, and This run-on sentence carries on for 12 pages before finally concluding, and thus, in order to maintain structural integrity throughout the area designated the pit, we recommend that chambers are installed in cylindrical fashion around a supporting structure dug into the crust of Tartarus to a depth of... This conclusion extends for another 2 pages.
This is what the board wants. Every worker in Halcyon stuffed into one of those chambers.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Are you new here?
Congratulations, you passed.
That's great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your vigilant service. Carry on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're getting shot.
Someone's coming. Hold it.
I know, I haven't been feeling well.
Yeah? You're not content.
I'm not sure, but this morning I was bleeding out of my ears.
I don't want to know. Just stay back. Looking good, soldier.
Unseal the door.
Well, look who it is. I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus. And I see you've brought the kid along. Babysitters may be expensive, but they're worth it, you know.
Yeah, keep talking, pal. I'll just keep thinking of a place to bury your body.
Ah, I knew I smelled Monarch when you lot walked in. The stench of sulfur, depression, and desperate bravado is unmistakable.
Keep talking, and you'll be smelling iron. Ain't nobody so important I won't put a bullet in.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens.
Chairman Rockwell, I presume.
My word! You've correctly identified the most recognizable man in the colony. Remarkable.
The sarcasm is strong with this one.
Saw you. Then again, he's an insane person. Thankfully, he's our insane person now. A proper company man.
Please. Phineas would rather die than cooperate.
Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se. Semantics, he'll come around. But that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crackpot into a working-class man. It's a miracle.
That crackpot is saving the frozen colonists you gave up on.
Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation problems. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through, but it's done. It's over. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
Nope.
Are you kidding me? We're out here trying to clean up your mess.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery.
No, you're not.
You're just getting in the way.
Yes, we are. You'd prefer to keep riding this downward spiral? I can fix this place.
If I and my people can ride it out in luxury and happiness, yes, I would. I don't know if you've noticed, Captain, But Halcyon's pretty much a lost cause.
With your resources and some of the folks on the Hope, we could do a lot.
I'll admit, there's no shortage of talent in the scientists and engineers there. Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you manage to storm the castle, as it were, and make it out of here with Phineas alive, I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive, you'll need someone to sell the rest of the board on your plan.
Are you out of your mind? Rockwell's the biggest monster in Halcyon. You got any idea how many lives he's destroyed? How many people he's hurt? I've had enough. You even think about cooperating with this animal? And you and I are finished. You're damn right it is.
If you're gonna place more faith on this brat than the chairman of the fucking colony, then there's no hope for you. Go get yourself killed.
An assortment of adhesive notes. It appears whoever works here uses adhesive notes to stay organized. A couple of the more intelligible notes. Confiscate badges, done. Reprint badges, pending. Change maintenance locks, pending new locks. Order new locks, done. Reevaluate lockdown procedure, update docking authority with new lockdown procedure. Intake bet, over under weekly. Bottles 5, 621, weapons 4. Messages. Cameras. Jim, I'm trying to get straight with the Conde's orders. Only a few things more from my end, but I don't know what we'll do about cameras. She says security footage ain't enough. They want proper reels? What's going on? She's bringing in a VIP for internment. Security's ramping up too. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's a fine mess down here. Said something about recording an announcement. They're all overly excited. It's hush-hush, but I guess this VIP's been on the run for a while. I bet the engineers have a few cameras. I'll see if I can track some down. Ray cameras. Jim, appreciate it. You know her. We must check on this list. It's our heads. You have no idea how tough it was getting a green tarp. And you notice we're back up to 3 again.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight! Waste of company ammo.
And of course, now we have both MSI... Oh, I need to get out there to the middle. Now we have both MSI and Groundbreaker.
Open fire!
You, ain't feeling jittery, are you? 'Cause I'm not.
That sounds like a suspiciously...
Once we're up there, I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
That sounds like a suspiciously specific denial, Felix.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
It's over, Sophia. Stand down.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
I'm aware of your diplomatic talents, Captain. You have a gift for manipulation, but I warn you, I'm no easy mark. For all your talents, you are the enemy of Halcyon, and therefore you are my enemy.
I'm here for Phineas. Let him go.
You make a nuanced and compelling argument. Here's my rebuttal. No. Dr. Wells is being held in my custody. His cooperation will prove invaluable, even if I have to beat it out of him. All that's left to do is put down this riot, arrest you, and then get on with the bloody business of saving this colony.
Let's talk about this.
Fair enough. I'm giving you exactly one chance to parley with me.
Okay. I don't want to fight you, Sophia. You're one of the only rational people left.
Anyone with eyes can see that you're talented, Captain. I only wish you'd used your talents for good. You wander the system, doing as you please, answering to no one. Your mere existence throws Halcyon into chaos. I simply can't have that.
I'm not throwing Halcyon into chaos. The board's doing that all by themselves.
The board is the only power left at Halcyon. We're the only ones keeping this colony from dissolving into ruin. You had so much potential. I would have put your talents to good use. I would have made you wealthy beyond belief.
We can still work together. All you have to do is stand down.
I'm not in the business of working with my enemies, and you've made your loyalties abundantly clear. You were always an unknown variable. I tried to recruit you, but you threw your lot in with that madman, Phineas Wells.
And I don't have nearly the lie to tell her that, or the perception.
This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry, I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Well, it can't go that way, by the way.
Making it look easy.
Can't open that. Can't hack that. Looks like the only thing left to do. I am, however, grateful that shutting down the big guy shuts down all of these dudes, too. Ah, brave Akande. She bravely failed to kill me.
Just die.
Get me out of here!
Well, oh, there we go.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
Are you all right? What did they do to you?
I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago, and the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
You're quite right. We've got no choice but to make do on our own. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Let's see if he has anything I need.
Yes, certainly. I'll help however I can.
What do you think happened?
I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's gone silent. I don't even know if Earth exists anymore. We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're completely alone out here.
How do you know all this?
I heard it from Akande herself. She tried to pressure me into joining her side, you see. Tried to make me realize that all hope is lost, and that we are alone. She was half right. We are alone, and we're going to have to fend for ourselves, because there's no telling what's happened to Earth.
You mentioned a frigate disappearing?
You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate. Half the colony's entire military was on that ship. They were returning to Earth when they vanished without a trace. That was 2 years ago. We haven't heard a word from them since. Whatever happened to Earth likely happened to them.
You said there haven't been any new messages from Earth?
Yes, Akande mentioned as much. Earth hasn't sent us a single message in 3 years. No one knows why. Akande had kept the truth to herself, perhaps with good reason. Can you imagine what would have happened if word got out? We'd have utter pandemonium.
There's something else. I know about the other colonists, Phineas.
I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours.
I forgive you, Phineas.
Thank you. Perhaps in time I'll learn to forgive myself. My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself. We've far more pressing issues to worry about right now. If you have any more questions, ask me. I'll answer as best I can.
I don't have any more questions. We've got work to do.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Somebody has to run this colony. I'm the only competent person left. You can count on me. I'll help you revive the other colonists.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
It also leaves it open for a sequel, in which we try to find out what happened to Earth.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. Olivia and Minnie Ambrose worked together to cure the marauders Adrena Time had created. Through their partnership as scientist and administrator, they discovered the harmony that had eluded them as mother and daughter. And through years of patience and effort, they discovered the means to wean Halcyon from the scourge of Adrena Time. Their work eventually allowed Wells and his scientists to treat many of Halcyon's marauders. As their addiction waned, the colonists who had lived for so long under the thrall of Adrena time returned to their communities and loved ones, and joined in the effort to save Halcyon. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The Rizzo's company in Halcyon dissolved after the collapse of the board. Needless to say, the launch of Spectrum Brown was indefinitely delayed. A stockpile of Spectrum Brown remains buried deep beneath the ruins of the old distillery, abandoned to time and attrition. With the dissolution of the board, Ruth Bellamy found herself without the two constants in her life: Byzantine culture and her sister Belinda. In the face of this new reality, she struggled to find a direction for her life. The colony had moved on from Halcyon Helen and would require new heroes in the years to come. And so Ruth Bellamy decided it was time to exit stage left. She quietly disappeared from public view. The dissolution of the board did not mean the dissolution of the ambitions of Cedric Kincannon, the charismatic leader of Sublight Underground. Cedric offered slugs transportation services to the newly thawed colonists and set to work ferrying resources and food wherever they were most needed. For better or worse, slug headgear became fashionable in the following years. As the board began to disintegrate, Spencer Woolrich found himself at a crossroads. Cling to what little stardom remained to him, or help usher Halcyon into its new future. To the surprise of many, perhaps himself most of all, Spencer chose the latter option. Having learned a variety of different skills in the many different roles played throughout his lengthy career, Spencer founded a radio serial dedicated to staying alive despite the odds. His subjects included how to survive violent encounters with only grazing wounds, dispense pithy one-liners for tense scenarios, and, of course, how to look good doing both. After a brief attempt at dating Helen as one person rather than two, which both Bertie and Helen found too strange, Bertie struck out on his own to try his hand at raising woolly cows. Many of his former Rangers teammates soon followed, accompanied by the woolly cow the team had originally plied with alcohol. The dairy farm thrived under Bertie's leadership and care. The Dairy Rangers privately believed that the woolly cows softened Bertie's temper considerably, although the only one brave enough to say this to his face was promptly headbutted. Due to the board's dissolution, many of the Prophet's old customers no longer found quite the same value in productivity seminars that they once had. With her business drying up, the Prophet chose to take her followers down a new path. Months later, salvagers on Eridanos found clues leading them to a seemingly abandoned bunker out in the wilderness. Inside, they discovered horribly mangled corpses, sacrificed to a blood-scrawled portrait of a sprat-headed deity. The Prophet was not among the bodies. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail, or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past, and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
And there you go. That is The Outer Worlds. from beginning to end. That worked out to, let's see, about 55 hours in all. So, wow. Great game, Obsidian. Nice and long and well worth the money. Anyway, since we're already 3 hours in and I only normally have about 4 hours to stream, I don't see the point in starting another stream right now. Instead, I'll just end this once the credits roll, and my next stream will probably be Detroit Beyond Human. So I will see you next time, same place, same channel, and have a great rest of your day.